This is the sad story of a young Cameroonian migrant who lost his feet at the hands of Algerian doctors. He was trying to reach Europe, the land of milk and honey, where many people are jumping ship to places like the Middle East, Africa, Asia, South America, Australia, Canada, America, looking for better salaries, better opportunities elsewhere because they can't cope with the rising cost of living in Europe. The only difference is you probably know them as expats. The expats are the first class of migrants, but the plane is the same. Anyways, this is what we are working with today. Listen, many people have been traveling across the globe to look for better opportunities and ways to improve their lives for a very long time. For example, how do you think Frick Leopold of Belgium put his country on the map and improved the lives of his people in Belgium at the expense of Congolese people in their own land? And this is just one example of Europeans looking for opportunities across Africa. Luckily, not all people looking for better opportunities and ways to improve their lives chose that approach. Anyways, it is important to note that the majority of African migration happens within Africa. As surprising as it might sound to you, only a tiny minority choose to go beyond Africa's borders in Europe, for example. But I understand who can blame you after years and years of media programming, but there is a purpose for giving you the impression that the whole world wants to come to you. Otherwise, how will they justify you losing your jobs to machines? Government underfunding the healthcare systems, companies moving to cheaper countries, and more if you don't have migrants or illegal migrants to blame it on. Anyways, this young Cameroonian man, Alphonse, was one of the minority who chose to go beyond Africa's borders into Europe. He decided that it was better to risk everything, including dying in the ocean, than living another day in Cameroon. The same ocean that welcomed his ancestors to its bed because they chose to sleep at the bottom with their pride high than accept to be made slaves. Anyways, migrants with a darker complexion who choose to reach Europe, through water, by water, passing through North African countries like Morocco, Tunisia, Libya, Algeria, face extremely difficult, if not deadly, travel conditions. There are no direct routes, so they have to cross these countries and borders, and they face many obstacles on their way. Alphonse and his group tried to reach Tunisia through Algeria, and that was the turning point of their journey. Listen, they were beaten by Algerian border police who targeted their legs. Then they were driven away and abandoned in the desert where 25 of his fellow travelers died. There are many reports, documentaries, and stories of migrants who describe how these border forces abuse, beat, and dump them in the desert, knowing very well that many won't make it alive. Alphonse survived with his infected legs that required urgent medical attention. However, when the young man reached the hospital, he was met with even more hostility and hatred. He claims the doctor told him they did not want blacks in their hospitals and that they will do something so that next time he won't go back to Algeria. And then they amputated his legs on top of performing other unnecessary surgeries on his thighs, leaving him with physical but above all psychological scars forever. Now, do you think the Cameroonian authorities will summon the Algerian ambassador? Do you think they will do something about this situation? Why would they? Why? You see, we have too many people on the continent seeking to become leaders, but I think we should be asking them, you want to become the leader of what exactly? The leader of the country, the wildlife, nature, leader of African Western puppets, or leader of the people? We have to establish that first, because a leader of the people wouldn't allow such nonsense to fly. If this was an isolated incident, we can work with it and make sure it doesn't happen again. But these things keep on happening. The only reason why the wolf keep on feasting on one sheep a day from a pack of sheep is because the shepherd allows it to happen. You will never catch me blaming the wolf, because the wolf already clearly stated its intentions through its repeated violations. If it's your first time interacting with my content, I would like to welcome you and let you know that I have a podcast on YouTube full of non-political stories. You can find it in the podcast sections of the channel. I also have a book of Proverbs which you can access through the link below. Moreover, I create fire content that speaks for itself. Please check out my catalog and thank you for your time.
We, ni nini?